In the previous video, I talked about Slavs. To understand the development and division of Slavs, we have to learn about Avars and their khaganate. Avars khaganate was a big early medieval state, created due to the Eastern tribes' migration. Avars would be a major political player for 250 years. Their origins are not clear. One of the predominant versions was suggested by French scholar Joseph de Guines in the 18th century. He thought that Avars were part of Georgian Khaganate, the people of which ran west, hiding from Turks. This hypothesis has some evidence, like appearance of Avars, who came to Byzantine to introduce themselves to Justinian I. Byzantine historian mentioned that those people had strange braids with ribbons, which were common in Georgian Khaganate. Also, this version matched the overall events. There were other versions. Avars had Tunguisic and Manchurian origins. Avars language made the investigation of their origins even more complicated. It is argued that they spoke Para-Mongolic language, which has a lineage to contemporary Mongolic language. At the same time, Avars language had many Iranian words. There is an evidence from Byzantine historians Menander Protector and Theophylactus Samokatia of the 6th-7th centuries. They said that the tribes under name Avars who came to Europe were a union of Iranian tribes, pushed to Black and Caspian seas by Turks. In any case, before settling between Alps and Carpathians, Avars assimilated with other ethnicities, including Slavic and German tribes. After establishing Khaganate in the 6th century and settling down, Avars became more heterogeneous. Even their name Avars was only used to call the ruling elite. By 557, Avars appeared in the region between Volga and Don. There, they met Alans, allies of Byzantine. Through them, Avars contacted Justinian I. They made an agreement with Byzantine Emperor. Avars had to conquer some of Byzantine's enemies in return for payment. But instead of fighting with the tribe of Kutrigurs, Avars, pursuing their own interests, made an alliance with them. Followed by Turks, Avars crossed Dnieper River around 560. By that time, Avars leader Bayan called himself Khagan and led them to the lower basin of Danube River, where they attacked Franks in the west. Their first campaign in 562 was unsuccessful, but in the second one, in 566, they won over Franks, and their king was captured. He was later released for a ransom. Two sides negotiated a peace agreement. After, Avars focused on Gepid's kingdom. That kingdom had a new powerful enemy in the north, Longobards or Lombards. In 567, Avars made an alliance with Longobards and destroyed Gepid's kingdom. Later, Longobards moved to northern Italy, where they established their own state, and Avars got new territories from Gepids and Longobards, where they settled down. By 580, Bayan I conquered all Slavic and German tribes living in Carpathian Basin. Avars were still paid by Byzantine for protecting the northern border from Slavs. When Byzantine was unable to pay, Avars raided its Balkan territories. Sometimes Byzantine could push Avars away, but in 602, the war with Sassanids Empire took all Byzantine forces to the east, so Avars were free to do anything on Balkans. When Persians decided to attack Constantinople, Khagan supported them. He besieged Byzantine capital with his army in an attempt to unite forces with Sassanids. But successful defense actions by Byzantine navy did not allow Persians to cross, so Avars decided to attack the fortress by themselves. Byzantine historians wrote that Avars' army was around 80,000 warriors, which was highly likely exaggerated. They stormed Constantinople for several days but could not get through and turned back. After this defeat, Avars' military power on Balkans was diminishing. In the next decades, more and more Slavic rulers got independence from Khaganate's protectorate. A big revolt happened in Moravia under a leader of the first known Slavic duke, Samo, although he had Frank origins. He created a state Samo which existed 35 years. After the death of the duke, Avars took his lands back. In Balkans, Avars also lost some territories where Slavs became independent. This led to economic losses as the trade with Byzantine was seized. In the second half of the 7th century, Avars' relations with Byzantine were getting better due to the creation of Kingdom of Bulgaria. Nevertheless, peak of Avars' power passed. Mentions about Khaganate in the 8th century decreased. The zone of influence became smaller and population settled down. Avars had some problems in the west border. In the first half of the 8th century, Avars wanted to conquer Slavic state, Carantania, in the eastern Alps. Slavs turned to Bavaria for help, which was subordinated by Franks. And soon Avars and Franks were drowned in a long war starting in 788. First, Avars tried to attack Friuli, but were defeated. After they were defeated in the new battle, their attempt to get revenge by attacking Bavaria was also unsuccessful. So Avars were fine with the status quo, but Franks no. Next, Franks' campaign was conducted by Karl the Great. It did not lead to a full victory, but Franks settled to the west of Wienerwald in Vienna. Under this pressure, in 795, the civil war started in Khaganate. In its result, Khagan's power was given to his heir. He sent legates to Karl, telling him that Khaganate would subordinate and become Christian. But Franks did not agree and attacked Avars. They captured all Avars' treasury, which they acquired for many years. Conflicts continued until 803. Avars, under leadership of Fyodor, were given vassal kingdom, but it officially disappeared in 828, which became an end to Khaganate. Avars in the east who were not conquered by Karl were attacked by Bulgarian Khan Krum in the 9th century. In 805, the last pieces of eastern Khaganate territories were conquered by Bulgaria. That's how the Avars Khaganate ended. Thank you for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!